Episode 504 of Breaking Bad, 51. Uh, Also known as the Anna Gunn Show. Probably one of the most uncomfortable episodes that I can remember. Not intense, uncomfortable, awkward. You just don't feel comfortable the entire time you're watching it. And it mostly has to do with Anna Gunn's performance as Skyler. And just this whole thing where it's like she can't deal with what's going on and you feel like something's wrong with her. On top of that, I thought Hank was going to figure out, like, piece it together finally. He didn't, but, I mean, those cars, the new cars that Walter bought, combined with the fact that there's something obviously going on with the Whites, combined with Skyler's behavior, I think we're an episode or two away from Hank finally figuring it out. Unless he takes that promotion, which he said he would, which was probably the only real huge development in the episode. But I don't think he's going to take the promotion. I think he's going to start to break the Fring case and start to figure out that it's Walter. And he won't want to leave. I think that's how it'll work. I don't know. Give me your theories, but I'm trying to think what there was in this episode. It felt like a really good episode. Well, of course, there's the big scene between Walter and Skyler near the end. That was right up there. I would put it up there with the fight that Tony and Carmela have in Sopranos, where he fucking starts punching the walls and shit. It wasn't crazy like that, but it was like a verbal match. Where she's just like, I'll do anything to keep these kids out of this house. And Walter's like just returning with his logic, like, what is wrong with this environment? And how are you going to keep them out? They're going to come home eventually. You're not going to do anything. And she fucking loses it. She's like, I don't have the magic that you have, Walter. I'm a coward. I'm just going to have to wait. And Walter's like, wait for what? And she's like, the cancer to come back. And if anything in the episode, that was the big wow moment. And there were other things. I mean, the dinner was extremely uncomfortable, and the whole time Walter's just trying to give this nice speech and act like everything's normal. And the way they shot at Skyler in the background, you're like, what the hell is she doing by the pool? I was like, man, is she thinking about suicide? And they do kind of talk about that after she decides to go take a swim. And, it was just a very uncomfortable episode. I knew right from the beginning that it was going to be largely about Skyler, and it was. When Walter gives his car away for $50 and goes and buys him and Junior brand new cars, or leases. And that's got to be a tip off to Hank. Something's up. Like Hank is so close. He knows there's someone else out there. He knows that the business is rebooting. Maybe the only thing holding Hank back is maybe he doesn't see Walter as a genius, a chemist. Maybe that's it. But I mean, remember when Walter looked at the notebook for Hank and Walter's like, this guy's an amateur. He's just taking notes from a master. I mean, Hank has to know that Walter knows his shit, and it's only a matter of time. Not a lot of Mike or Jesse in this episode until the end, but what there was, I really liked. I like that Mike immediately figured out that woman put the GPS on the barrel to get them to back off, maybe. And as soon as he figures it out, he's like, "Oh, she's a dead woman." He gets up and he's like, "Trust me, no one deserves to die more than her." And now you're being sexist. Lots of funny, awesome stuff from Mike at the end. And then just Jesse continuing to be a nice guy like usual, saying, "Hey, we shouldn't kill this lady. What are you talking about?" And then you have Walter sitting there not totally even paying attention, but with his Heisenberg hat, and we're not ramping down. The methylamine does not stop. That's like his only order. He doesn't care whether she lives or dies at all. And then you have Jesse giving him the watch, and it was a nice moment. It really was. And then I liked the way Walter used the watch to talk to Skyler, and he's like, the person that gave me this wanted me to die just a couple of weeks ago. And he changed his mind. You will too. And she just sits there and keeps smoking. She's acting like a fucking lunatic, dude. She needs the fucking. I thought for a while Skyler was gonna be all on board, and she was Breaking Bad too. That's one of the few predictions that I had about the season that I was wrong. Where I thought she would be more involved, and she is involved, and she does say in this episode, "I'm here for the ride, but I don't want my kids around." But you're acting nuts, lady. You're making your sister and your brother-in-law look at you weird. Skylar's fucking lost it, dude. And the way she barely talks to him and this and that. I just thought she'd just start to get into it like Walter and start to get off on the whole thing, but she's not. She's clearly not ready to be in this business. She's not up to it. She's going to continue to create problems, I think. What if she becomes too big a problem? I loved how the watch was used for the very final scene, the final shot. As it's slowly, the second hand is getting close to 12. Kind of like you're running out of time. Kind of like how the series is running out of time, and kind of how we know Walter is running out of time, that things are going to go very bad for him very soon. We know this. We know it's going to go bad. And this is like the calm before the storm. The next episode looks like it's a heist episode where they're trying to steal a lot of methylamine, and that should be fun. It should be a fun episode. I don't think it's going to be the one where things start to fall apart. But it is episode 5 out of the final 16, and also 5 out of the 8 that we're getting for this half of this season. I think after episode 5, things are going to start to go very, very bad. And I think that, like I said last week, I think the scene where we see Walter with the beard and this and that, I think that's near the end of the series. If not the final episode, close to it, right? But I think we're an episode or two away from Hank figuring out who Walter is, and then, maybe we'll end on a little cliffhanger for the first half of this, and then come back to, things really falling apart. But my prediction is about Hank. I think we're right. I mean, he hasn't figured it out yet, but he's on that path. I don't know. And then the rest of the episode, like I said, it's just a very uncomfortable episode between the dinner scene, the fight between Walter and Skyler, her weird behavior at the dinner scene, her weird behavior throughout this entire season. She's lost it. And, there are little touches. I loved when Walter, he's like, hey, can you finish up without me to Jesse? And he's like, it's my birthday, and, I think there might be, a party waiting for me. Jesse's like, oh, sure. And then Jesse, of course, went and got him a watch. But Jesse's, got more together than anybody right now. I love that, too. That was another sort of prediction or hope that I had for the final season, is that Jesse would really start to get his shit together, and you'd start to see him as someone who could run this business. Because I think it's going to be ultimately Jesse that tries to take Walter out. I think. Anything could happen. But I like the way they're treating Jesse. But then, anyways, getting back to my point, Walter getting home, and he's looking in, he looks around, where's all the cars? But he's still looking at himself in the glass, in his windows, making sure he looks all perfect. He walks in, he's just like, what the fuck? I like that moment. Not too much going on. I think Mike is right that the chick planted the GPS, but obviously in the next episode they're using her for this heist that they're going to do. Now, will Mike kill her after that? Maybe. He should have killed her off the bat. That chick is nuts. And she's getting beyond paranoid. But anyways, I guess ultimately not a lot to say about this one. It's just there's a sense of dread that is growing throughout this season, and it was definitely in this episode. But I'm just waiting for that spark where things start to go nuts. I remember last season last season was nuts throughout, but like fucking Walter's laughing like a madman in the crawl space, which they do mention in this episode. It was just like pure insanity going on for the last couple episodes, and this is going there. They're gonna go out with a bang, and I'm waiting for that. Like Hank figures something out. Jesse starts to figure something out. Skyler does something crazy. I'm waiting for like when's it gonna go? When are we gonna get going? It's all very good so far, and it's really building a sense of dread. But I'm just waiting for it to then turn. So that's my thoughts on it. Love to hear your thoughts, your predictions, etc. Once again, it's going to be a long wait till next Sunday. But anyways, see you then.